The next type of question I'd like to show you is also frequently tested and consistently tested. Yeah. So it's also important for you to make sure that you do understand it completely. Yeah. And this kind of question, okay, the question will give you information about some accrued item and some maybe deferred item. Yeah. And then the question asks you to compute the amount of cash received or the amount of cash paid. Okay. And to solve this kind of question, you need to use T account format. The T account format. Yeah, you know T account, right? Yeah. So for example, for accounts receivable, yeah, and we have accounts payable, and we have accrued. Okay, so we create we will create 4 T accounts, one for accounts receivable, one for accounts payable, one for unearned revenue, one for prepaid insurance. Yeah. And before I show you the question, yeah, I'd like to show you something about how do we do the T account posting for each of the 4 accounts. Yeah. So for accounts receivable, assuming that the company has a transaction that has a sales transaction that occurs on September 1st, yeah, and the sales amount is 20,000, yeah, then we would debit accounts receivable and the credit revenue, right, for 20,000. And if we give the customer 2 months credit, yeah, no, if we give customer 4 months credit, then on December 31st, we expect to receive cash, right, from customer. Yeah. So I put cash in debit side, and then I move AR to the credit side, the other side. Yeah. So also for 20,000. Of course, if the customer pay you only 10,000 instead of 20,000, then you should record the transaction only for 10,000. Yeah. It depends on how much cash you actually receive from your customer. Okay, so if this is the recording that we do on the transaction day and also on the year-end day, then when we move this journal entry to the T account, how to do that? When we do journal entry, the credit side means the left side of the T account. The credit side of the journal entry means the right side of the T account. So the left side means debit, the right side means credit. Okay? So here, okay, when the company record revenue, then the AR will be in the debit side. So revenue will be in the debit side. And if when we receive cash, then the AR should be recorded in the credit. So cash collection. And AR is an asset account, right? Asset account, which side is the normal side of asset account? Debit. So beginning balance and the ending balance should be in debit side, right? Debit. Okay, and for the accounts payable, assuming that we purchase something from a supplier and we incur an expense on September 1st, then I would debit expense and then I credit accounts payable. Okay, let's say it's 10,000. If we are given credit for 4 months, yeah, then on December 31st, I should pay cash to the supplier, right? So then in the credit side, I put cash, and then after I record cash, then the balance in the AP account will be reduced. So we have to move AP to the other side, right? Yeah. So 10,000. Okay. Yeah. So when we do the T account posting, yeah, when we recognize an expense, AP should be in credit side. Yeah. So expense incurred. When we pay cash, AP should be recorded in debit side. Yeah. So cash payment, cash paid. Okay. And AP is a liability account. The normal side is in credit side. So beginning balance and the ending balance should show in the credit side. For the unearned revenue, if we receive 1 year rent from the tenant on September 1st for 12,000, yeah, then I receive cash, so I debit cash. In the credit side, the revenue is not earned yet, so I should record it as unearned revenue for 12,000. On December 31st, the 4 months rent is already earned, okay? So I move unearned revenue to debit. And in the credit side, I put revenue for only 4,000. This is the journal entry, okay? How to do the T account posting? When we collect cash, when we receive cash, we put unearned revenue in credit. So credit means cash collection. When we record revenue, we put unearned revenue in debit. So debit means revenue earned. Okay? And for prepaid expense, on September 1st, assuming I purchased 1 year insurance policy by paying something, 12,000, then I pay cash. So I put cash in credit. And the expense is not incurred yet, right? So I call it prepaid. For the entire amount, which is 12,000. On December 31st, 4 months have passed. So the expense for 4 months is already incurred. Then should I record expense? Yes. So I debit expense and I move prepaid insurance to the credit side for only 4 months, so which is 4,000. So to do the T account posting, when we pay cash, prepaid insurance is recorded in debit. So debit side means cash payment. When we record expense, then the prepaid insurance is recorded in credit. So credit means expense incurred. So far so good. If you understand this, then we can see an example. Okay. A company has the following activity with respect to unearned consulting fee during the year. Unearned consulting fee means unearned consulting revenue, right? It's an unearned revenue, it's a liability. Okay, and it says the unearned consulting fee at the end of the year is 2,000. At the beginning of the year is 3,500. Okay, it's an unearned revenue, so we should use this T account. And it's a liability account, so the beginning balance and the ending balance should be shown in credit. This is an asset account, so the beginning balance and ending balance should be shown in debit. And unearned consulting fee is an unearned revenue, yeah, so the beginning balance, we put it in the right side for 3,500. The ending balance, we also put it in right side for 2,000, okay? And here it says the consulting fee revenue is recognized as 25,000. Did you see here? I say revenue earned and the recorded is 25,000, so we put 25,000 here. The question is asking you how much cash was collected, okay? Cash collection is recorded in which side? Credit side, right? I don't know how much cash was collected. Can I assume X? I make assumption. You know, in accounting, okay, I show you a tip. From my past experience, there is a tip, which is a very helpful tip that you can apply to solve all the accounting questions. Okay, if the question gives you some information and then require you to solve an item, then we call the item as unknown item. Okay? You always can assume the unknown item as X. Okay? And then based on the information given by the question, you create an equation. The equation includes the unknown item X. So if you are able to create an equation, to generate an equation based on the information given by the question, and then include the unknown item into the equation, then what you need to do, the only thing you need to do to get an answer is to solve the equation to get x. Isn't it high school math?
Yeah.
Right? So this is a very helpful tip that you can apply to all kinds of accounting questions. Yeah. So here is the same. We don't know how much cash was collected, and it's actually what the question is asking you, right? So we assume it as x. And so right now we have 25 in debit side, we have in the left side, which means debit. We have these two amounts in right side, which means credit. If I like to solve x, then I need to put the T account format into an equation. Yeah. So how to put that into an equation? Yeah. Because unearned revenue is a liability account. The normal side for liability account is credit, which means whatever amount shown in credit is positive. Whatever amount shown in debit is negative. Okay? So these two, all the three amounts shown in credit side should be positive, positive, positive. All the amounts shown in debit side is negative, right? Negative. Okay? So if we like to put this into an equation, then I can write 3,500 plus x minus 25,000 equals 2,000. Positive, positive, negative, equals positive. Okay? So the above, that beginning balance followed by some adjustment, okay? Then you need to get ending balance. Okay? So this is the equation we generate. And once you have the equation, what do you need to do?
So that equation is the one you did before? Or
No,
that has nothing to do with it? That's something else, right?
That's for different
So
type of question.
why did you move the
Negative and positive.
oh, because it's beginning. Got it.
Okay? Because it's a liability account,
Yeah.
so beginning balance and its normal size in credit. So if the question gives you a beginning balance and ending balance, you should put it in credit, yeah, in the right side. And earlier I already showed you based on the journal entry, we record on the transaction day and on the year-end day. So we know that, okay, when the company earn and recognize revenue, then we put unearned in debit. When the company receive cash, then we put unearned in credit. And if you understand this, okay, then you put all the amounts into the T account based on the information given by the question, and then we change the T account format to the equation. Okay? So whatever amount shown in the right side, the credit side, will be positive. Whatever amount shown in the left side, the debit side will be negative. Okay? So this plus this minus this equals this. Okay? And so the next, okay, the only thing you have to do is to solve the equation to get x. So we put x. Okay, we keep x in the left side of the equation. And in the right side, we have 2,000. We move this to the right side, it becomes negative. We move this to the right side, it becomes positive. So how much do we have? Do we have 23,500? Right? 23,500. So 23,500 will be the amount that we collect. The amount of cash we collect from customer. Got it? Okay. The cash collection amount is 23,500. Okay. Let's see if we get correct answer. Okay. 23,500. Any question? If no question, okay, I'll give you 1 minute.
I'm observing slowly.
Okay. What if the information was accounts receivable? Which means if we change the unearned revenue to accounts receivable, then we use this T account. We use this T account. Okay? The beginning balance is how much? 3,500. The ending balance is 2,000. The revenue earned is 25,000. Now the question we ask you to compute how much cash was collected. So can we assume this as X? Yes. Okay. So how to change this T account format to an equation? Same thing. Accounts receivable is an asset. The normal side is in debit. So whatever amount shown in debit is positive. Whatever amount shown in credit is negative. Okay? So to write this as an equation, we put 3,500 plus 25,000 minus x equals The ending balance is also, the ending balance is shown in debit, so it's also positive, right? So 2,000. And to solve x, because the x has a sign of negative, so should I move it to the other side? Yes, okay. So 3,500 plus 25,000, we move the 2,000 to this side, it becomes negative. We move x to the other side, it becomes positive, okay? So to compute this, you get 26,500, right? Yeah. So 26,500 cash was collected. Okay. Are we correct? Are we correct? Yes, it's correct. Any question? So it's actually not too difficult, right? If you know how to do it, it's not difficult. Yeah, but you need more practice. And this type of question, the same as the first type of question I show you, these are frequently and consistently tested. Okay? So it's very important for you to make sure you do understand, completely understand.
What did you say? This is like the inverse? Like to say if you solve one and you see that the difference is negative 1,500, you could just add.
You know, actually, okay, well, I'm saying that, you know, sometimes the question give you an information about unearned revenue. Sometimes the question tells you accounts receivable, okay? But no matter if it's accounts receivable or if it's unearned revenue, because the difference, the way, I mean, the concept you should apply to solve the question is exactly the same. The only difference is, if the question tells you unearned revenue, then the beginning balance and ending balance should be shown in credit side, okay? And revenue earned is in debit, cash collection is in credit. If the question tells you accounts receivable, revenue is still in debit. Cash collection is still in credit. The only difference is beginning balance and ending balance should appear in the debit. Okay? And because you record beginning and the ending balance in a different side under different account. So would that affect the amount, the cash amount you resolve? Yes, of course. There we got only 23,500. Here we get 26,500. Why? Revenue is recorded in the left side, same thing. Cash collection is recorded in credit side, same thing. Then how come we get different amount? Because that's a liability account. Beginning balance and ending balance are shown in credit side. This is the asset account. Beginning and ending balance are shown in the debit side. Got it? But the concept you should apply to solve the question is exactly the same. Okay? Exactly the same. Got it? Yeah. And let's do more example. Okay. A company has the following activity with respect to prepaid insurance expense during the year. Prepaid insurance, so should we use this T account? Yes, prepaid expense, yeah. And it says the beginning balance is 3,500. So we put 3,500 here, right? Ending balance is 2,000, so we put 2,000 here. And insurance expense is 25,000. Yeah, expense incurred should be recorded in the credit. Yeah, so we put 25,000 here. The question is asking you how much cash was paid. We don't know how much cash was paid. Can I assume it as X? Yes. You might say, can I assume it as Y? As you wish. Of course. You can do Y, you can do A, you can do B, you can do C as you wish. Okay? It's just an unknown item. Okay? You can make whatever assumption for an unknown item. Okay? Okay, so how to make this T account format to an equation? Okay? Prepaid expense is an asset account. The normal side for asset account is in debit, right? So which means whatever amount shown in debit is positive. Okay, whatever amount shown in credit is negative. Okay. So 3,500 is positive, X is positive, 25,000 is negative. Equals ending balance is positive. Okay? Because it's in debit. Okay? Because it's in debit. And then we solve X. We solve the equation to get X. So 2,000, and we move this to the other side, becomes negative. We move this to the other side, it becomes positive. Okay. So do we have 23,500? Right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see if we are doing correctly. See? It's correct. Question? If not, then we do another example about accounts payable. Okay, what if the information was on accounts payable? Okay, so if you are given the same information, but the question changed prepaid expense to accounts payable. Okay, if we change prepaid expense to accounts payable, then we should apply this T account. Okay, beginning is 3,500. We put it in the right side. Ending 2,000. We also put it in the right side. Okay. Expense is 25,000, so we put it in the right side. How much cash was paid? We don't know. Okay, so we assume it was X. Okay, and accounts payable is a liability account. The normal side is in credit side. Okay, so whatever amount shown in credit side is positive, otherwise it's negative. Okay, so 3,500 is positive, 25,000 is positive, minus X is negative. Okay, equals 2,000 is positive. Okay, and you solve the equation to get X. Okay, so you move X to the right side, it becomes positive, and then you move 2,000 to the left side, becomes negative. So do we get 26,500? Yes. 26,500. And what does 26,500 refer to? The cash we pay. Okay? Cash pay. No, not this one. This one. Okay? Important. Important.
I have a question. For each of this category, accounts payable, accounts receivable, everything, you have kind of understood and everybody agrees side. So, do you have a chart that can show me what should I memorize it for each? For example, this one, you're starting with beginning balance,
Right.
Right-hand side,
Right.
because it's the credit side.
Right.
So, in the balance sheet, it's only this much. Is there any way I can have cheat sheets to tell myself that?
You mean to give you an easier way for memorization? Okay. Actually, it's not that difficult. You do have, okay, if you don't have to memorize it, but it's good to memorize it. Why? Because if you don't memorize it, then during the exam, you have to follow step by step. It takes too much time, right? Too much time.
Yeah.
So it's good for you to memorize beforehand, but it's not difficult to memorize. Okay, just remember if this is an asset account or liability account. Okay, if it's an asset account, then we put beginning ending in the left side. If it's a liability account, we put beginning ending in the right side. Okay, and when it's an asset account, when it's accounts receivable, okay, accounts receivable is for the revenue earned and the cash collection for these two accounts, the side is the same. Okay, so revenue earned is in the left side, cash collection is in the right side. Okay, and accounts payable is associated with prepaid expense. Okay, so for these two accounts, cash pay is in the left side, expense incurred is in the right side. So you can find that this account and the accounts receivable, for these two accounts, revenue earned is in the same side, cash collection is in the same side. Okay, for this account, prepaid and the accounts payable, the cash pay is in the same side, expense incurred is in the same side. Okay, and we generate this T account format actually based on the journal entry we recorded. Okay, but if you think that it's too time consuming during the exam to to determine the T account format based on the journal entry recording, okay, then the easier way is, okay, you put the beginning and ending balance first. Okay, for asset account we put it in debit, the left side. For liability account we put it in credit, the right side. Okay. Yeah, and then for these two, for the account on the top, okay, revenue earned and the cash collection is in the same side. Okay, so which means revenue earned and the revenue earned for either that one or this one is in the left. Cash collection for either that one or this one is in the right. Okay, and this one, prepaid, is associated with accounts payable. Okay, so for these two, cash payment and the expenses incurred is in the right side. Cash pay for either this one or that one is in the left. Expense incurred for either this one or that one is in the right. So it's actually not too difficult to memorize. Okay? You don't have to memorize 4. You only have to memorize 2. Okay? And another revenue is associated with accounts receivable. So these 2 will be shown in the same side. And the only difference is that's an asset account. This is a liability account. Okay? So we show beginning ending in the left for that one. We show beginning and ending in the right for this one. Okay? And prepaid expense is associated with accounts payable. Okay? So cash pay and the expenses incurred appear in the same side. Okay? Cash pay always in the left. Expense incurred always in the right for these 2 accounts. Okay? Because these 2 accounts are associated. Okay? The only difference is if it's a liability account, so we show beginning ending in the right. It's an asset account, we show beginning and ending in the left. So you actually don't have to memorize 4. You only have to memorize 2. Would that become easier?
What about allowance account, counter assets account?
Allowance account that won't be tested. The question cannot test you, cannot give you allowance information about allowance account and ask you how much cash is received or cash paid. You couldn't. Okay? So this type of question, when the question asks you how much cash was received or how much cash was paid, the question, the only information they would give you, the question will provide with you is either the asset account or liability account. It couldn't be a contra asset account. Okay? Only the asset account or liability account. Okay? But could be an accrued asset, could be a deferred asset, could be an accrued liability, could be a deferred liability. Okay? So the question would only provide you with accrued or deferred item and then require you to compute either amount of cash received or amount of cash paid. Okay? So provide you with asset or liability and then ask you to compute cash, either cash received or cash paid. Okay? But sometimes the question give you an accrued asset, that's accounts receivable. Sometimes the question give you a deferred asset, that's an unearned revenue. Sometimes the question give you a accrued liability, that's accounts payable. Sometimes it give you a deferred liability, defer what? Oh, okay. Accounts receivable is an accrued asset. Prepaid expense is a deferred asset. Accounts payable is an accrued liability, and unearned revenue is a deferred liability. Okay? So you will be given either accrued asset or deferred asset. Either accrued liability or deferred liability. These are the only situation. Okay? It's impossible for the question to give you allowance and then ask you to compute how much cash was received. Couldn't. Okay? Any question? Okay. If no, then make sure. In the later slide, I'll provide you with more example question, and I might show you like 2, and then you can work on the other 2 at home. Okay, as a practice, and then let me know if you have any question. Okay, but you find answer on the slide. Okay, you find answer on the slide. Okay, so summary. What's the summary? Yeah, for the converging question. Okay, either convert accrued amount to cash amount or either convert cash amount to accrued amount. You apply accounting equation. Remember, I show you original equation that assets equals liability plus equity, and then you either move this to the right or you either move the right side item to the left. Okay, it depends on if you are converting cash to accrual item or if you are converting accrual item to cash item. Okay. So you use accounting equation to solve the converging question. Okay? And for the cash received or cash paid question, okay, you are given accrued asset or deferred asset amount. You are given accrued liability or deferred liability amount, and you are required to compute either cash receipt amount or cash payment amount. Then you have to apply T account. Okay? So for the first question we use for the first type of question we use accounting equation. For the second type of question we use T account. Okay? So before this lecture, before you listen to this lecture, you might feel if I give you such question, you might totally have no idea about how to solve it. Am I right? Yes, okay, but now you get a good idea, right? A good idea. And as I say, these two type of questions are frequently and consistently tested. So it's very important for you to make sure you do completely understand it, okay? Okay. And the next issue, okay, I give you more detail, okay, about the accrual accounting. And we see, that's more example, okay, more example. Do you like to try this one, or you want me to show you one and then you work on another one? I show you one first and you work on another one, okay? A company records item on a cash basis throughout the year and converts to an accrual basis for year-end reporting. Its cash basis net income for the year is $70,000. The company has gathered the following comparative balance sheet information. Okay. So you are given information about the 5 account item. The 5 account item. Okay. And beginning balance and also ending balance. Okay. Okay. So now we are required to convert cash amount to accrual amount. Okay. If we are required to convert cash amount to accrual amount, then should we use this equation? Okay. We start from the very original accounting equation and then expand it to this one. Okay. This one would help us to convert cash amount to accrual amount. So the starting item will be cash amount. Okay. Cash amount is how much? 70. Okay, the first one, accounts payable. Is it a liability? Yes. Okay. Liability, the sign is negative. Okay. And now, do we have an increase or decrease? Decrease, right? Decrease 2,000. Okay, so minus becomes positive. Okay. Accounts payable. And unearned revenue is also liability. Yeah. It's increased, right? Increased by 200. It's also a liability. The sign for liability is negative. Okay? And it's increased. That's why I put positive. So negative, positive becomes negative. So this is for UR. UR means unearned revenue. Okay? And wages payable, okay? It changes. It's changed from 300 to 400, so it's an increase. Increase. What kind of account is it? Liability. The sign is negative, right? So negative, positive becomes negative. So wages payable, I put WP. That's negative 100. Okay? And prepaid rent, okay? 1,200 to 1,500 is an increase of 300. And prepaid rent is a say account. So the sign is positive. Positive, positive becomes positive 300. Okay? And this is prepaid rent. I put PR. Okay? And accounts receivable, it goes from 1,400 to 600. Is there a decrease? Okay. So decrease 800. Yeah. And it's an asset, right? A sign for asset is positive. Yeah. So positive, negative becomes negative. This is accounts receivable. So are we done? Yes, we are done. You just need to do some calculation using the calculator. Okay? And then how much do we get? 7. Okay. Minus 1,100, so minus 800, 78,200, right? I don't need a calculator. I'm so good at calculation, see? 1,200. Yeah. Let's see if we are doing correctly. Right? I got 100. I pass. I pass. Yeah. Any question? It's not too difficult, right? Yeah. It's not too. If you don't know how to do it, it's difficult. If you know how to do it, it's not difficult at all. Okay. So you need more practice. You are not as familiar as me, so you need to do more practice. Yeah. That's the only thing you have to do. If you do understand. Yeah. If you do understand it. Yeah. And okay. One more, and then you do.